All right, ready to dive deep into interview prep.
Let's do it.
Today we're tackling the Armed Forces Training and Education Officer position.
A critical role.
Absolutely. We're talking about shaping the future of the military, basically.
That's a great way to put it.
Training those new recruits, giving them both the knowledge and the hands-on skills they'll need.
It's that combination of theory and practice that's so crucial.
Right. And we're talking everything from, like, international regulations, defense strategies, the big picture stuff.
Right.
To very practical skills like weapon usage.
Exactly. It's a demanding job, for sure.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
But the impact is huge.
Absolutely massive. And we've got some great insights from the RoleCatcher Career Guide to help us out today.
It's a fantastic resource.
So military interviews, everyone knows they can be a bit intense.
They have a reputation, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to break down some of those common questions.
Give you some strategies.
Offer some approaches that'll hopefully help you stand out.
And maybe even share a few secrets.
Ooh, I like secrets.
Well, more like insider tips.
Even better. We'll also touch upon how RoleCatcher's AI can give you an extra edge.
It's pretty amazing what technology can do these days.
It really is.
Think of us as your, personal interview prep team.
I like that.
Here to help you ace this thing.
Awesome. All right, let's jump right in with a question that almost always pops up. How did you become interested in a career as an Armed Forces Training and Education Officer?
It seems straightforward, but there's definitely a right way to approach it.
Definitely.
This is your chance to really connect your personal story to the core of this role.
I see what you mean.
Don't just state facts, dates and titles.
Right.
Let your passion shine through.
That genuine interest in shaping future military leaders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Was there a specific mentor who inspired you?
Or maybe a particular event.
Or even a deep-seated belief in the importance of military training.
Yeah, tap into that emotional connection.
Let them see what drives you.
Absolutely. And be prepared for a follow-up question. Something like, what specific aspects of military training and education resonate most with you?
Oh, yeah. They'll definitely want to dig a little deeper.
For sure. So be ready with some concrete examples.
Maybe it's that fusion of physical and theoretical instruction that really drew you in.
Right. Or the discipline and the teamwork. Those are hallmarks of the military.
Absolutely. And the RoleCatcher Guide highlights things like international regulations and defense models.
Those are definitely crucial aspects.
So be prepared to talk about those as well.
It's all about showing them you've really thought about this.
Yeah, you've done your research.
And that this isn't just a job for you, it's a calling.
Exactly. And if you've witnessed the dedication of soldiers firsthand.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe you've even participated in training exercises yourself.
Sharing those personal touches can really make your answer memorable.
For sure. Authenticity is key.
Couldn't agree more.
All right. Let's move on to question number 2.
Okay, hit me.
In your opinion, what are the most important qualities for someone in this role to possess?
This is where you really get to showcase your understanding of what makes an effective training and education officer.
What separates the good from the great,
Precisely. Now, of course, you're going to mention leadership.
Of course.
Discipline, those are givens.
Right.
But think about qualities that might not be so obvious.
That set you apart.
Exactly. And always tie those qualities back to successful training outcomes.
Show them the why behind your answer.
For example, you could say something like, empathy is crucial.
That's a good one.
Because understanding a cadet's struggles helps tailor teaching for greater effectiveness.
I like that it shows you're not just focused on delivering information,
Right.
but also on understanding the individuals you're training.
It's about connecting with those cadets on a personal level.
Making that learning experience more impactful.
And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can be so helpful.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more about that.
They've analyzed thousands of job descriptions, Wow.
For this specific role.
Amazing.
And they can pinpoint the qualities that hiring managers are really looking for.
So it takes the guesswork out of it.
Exactly. You can tailor your response.
Make sure you're hitting those key points.
It's like having a personalized cheat sheet for your interview.
I love that analogy. And I bet they'll hit you with a follow-up question like, can you give an example of how you've demonstrated that specific quality in your past experience?
Always be ready with a story.
A concrete example that brings your answer to life.
Let's say you highlighted adaptability as a key quality.
Okay, good one.
Share a specific time when you had to adjust your approach on the fly.
Like maybe there was a sudden change in circumstances.
Exactly. It shows you can handle the unexpected, which, let's face it, is a huge part of military life.
For sure. So be ready to showcase those real-world experiences.
They want to see that you've walked the walk.
Not just talk the talk.
Absolutely. All right, ready for question number 3.
Bring it on. Okay, so question number 3. Describe your experience working with military personnel and how it has prepared you for this role.
This one's all about experience.
Yeah, showing them you've got what it takes.
That you've been in the trenches, so to speak.
Exactly. But it's not just about listing your military background.
Yeah.
It's about the lessons you've learned along the way.
Those valuable insights you've picked up.
Think about specific situations where you mentored others, right?
Okay.
Maybe you thrived under pressure.
Or you gained some insights that would directly apply to training new recruits.
Exactly. Highlight those moments that really showcase your readiness for this role.
And what if you don't have direct military experience?
Ah,
How do you tackle this question?
that's a great question. Not everyone coming into this role will have served,
Right.
but that doesn't mean you can't excel.
So what's the key?
It's all about transferable skills.
Ah, I see what you mean.
Think about those experiences you've had in other roles that have prepared you for this.
Okay, so what? Give me an example.
Well, let's say you've led training programs in a corporate setting.
Okay, yeah. I can see how that would be relevant.
You'd want to focus on things like the principles of adult learning, curriculum design, performance evaluation.
Those are all applicable to this military role.
Absolutely. It's about connecting the dots for the interviewer.
Showing them how your past has equipped you to succeed in this very specific environment.
Right. And I'm almost positive they'll follow up with something like, thinking back to that experience, what lessons learned would you directly apply to training new recruits?
That's like the perfect opportunity to bring it all together.
Exactly. You could say, for instance, in my previous role, I learned the importance of clear communication, concise instructions, especially when dealing with complex tasks.
That's crucial in any training environment.
Oh, absolutely. And then you tie it back to this role, saying something like, that's something I definitely carry forward,
Right.
Making sure those recruits fully grasp, let's say, the intricacies of weapon usage.
Right.
Or those international regulations.
It's all about drawing those parallels.
Showing them that your skills are transferable.
All right, let's move on to question number 4, shall we?
Sure, let's hear it.
It is. How would you go about designing a training program for a specific group of military personnel?
Ooh, this is where you get to showcase your instructional design skills.
Put on your teacher hat.
Exactly. So walk them through your process.
Okay, take me through it.
First things first, you got to start with a needs assessment.
Makes sense. Figure out what this specific group needs.
Right. What are their unique requirements? What are their strengths and weaknesses?
Right. Then what?
Then you dive into curriculum design.
Okay, so what would that look like?
You'd want to mention both the theoretical courses, like international regulations, defense models.
That's something we talked about earlier.
Exactly. And then the physical training, right?
Of course, that's a huge part of military training.
Things like weapons usage, self-defense techniques.
Those demanding drills mentioned in the RoleCatcher guide.
Exactly. Got to make sure they're physically and mentally prepared.
And how do you keep it engaging? We're talking about adult learners here. They need to be stimulated.
That's a great point. Lectures and drills can only go so far.
Right.
Think simulations.
Ooh, I like that.
Or real-world scenarios.
Bringing those theoretical concepts to life.
Exactly. And don't forget about technology.
Oh, yeah. The RoleCatcher guide emphasized the impact of technology in the military.
For sure. Show them you're forward thinking. You're incorporating those advancements into your training methods.
Like interactive training modules or virtual reality simulations.
Exactly. Make it cutting edge.
Speaking of cutting edge, I bet they'll throw you a curveball like, how would you adapt your training style to accommodate different learning preferences within the group?
Oh, they love to test your flexibility.
For sure, it shows you understand that a one-size-fits-all approach just won't cut it.
Absolutely. So be ready to talk about different learning styles.
Like using visual aids for visual learners.
Hands-on activities for kinesthetic learners.
Group discussions for those who thrive on collaboration.
It's all about showing them you're adaptable as an instructor.
Okay, before we jump to the next question, I just have to mention this.
What's that?
RoleCatcher can actually help you prepare for these types of questions.
Oh, for real? Tell me more.
Their AI platform analyzes successful responses to these exact questions.
Wow, so you can see what works.
And what doesn't.
It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
It's incredible, seriously.
Technology's pretty amazing, right?
It really is. All right, are you ready for question number 5?
Hit me with it. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, some pretty challenging questions.
Yeah, we've really dug deep into those interview scenarios.
But now let's talk about how technology can actually help you refine your answers.
Oh yeah, this is the fun part.
I think so too. So imagine this. you've poured your heart into that resume, right?
Spent hours crafting the perfect cover letter.
Highlighting your experience, your skills, your passion for shaping those future military leaders.
You've really put it all out there.
But how do you know if it's actually hitting the mark, you know?
Right. It's easy to feel like you're just throwing it into the void.
Exactly. And how do you make sure it gets past those applicant tracking systems?
The ATS, those digital gatekeepers.
The ones scanning for those specific keywords.
Yeah, it can feel like a black box.
And that's where RoleCatcher's AI comes in.
Okay, tell me more.
It's like your secret weapon.
Ooh, I like that.
It analyzes those job descriptions, identifies those most relevant skills and keywords.
Ah, I see what you mean.
And then it helps you tailor your resume and cover letter.
So you're speaking their language.
Exactly. You're showing them that you've done your homework.
And you're genuinely a good fit for this role.
And the best part is, RoleCatcher gives you those specific suggestions.
So it's not just about throwing in fancy words.
No, it's about using the right words,
The ones that actually align with what those hiring managers are looking for.
Exactly. It makes that whole tailoring process so much easier.
It's like having a personalized roadmap for your application.
I love that analogy, and that's just the beginning.
Wait, there's more.
Oh yeah, RoleCatcher's AI capabilities go way beyond resume tailoring.
Okay, now you've got me really intrigued.
Remember all those interview questions we talked about?
How can I forget?
Well, RoleCatcher also offers AI-powered feedback on your practice answers.
What? Seriously?
Seriously, you can record yourself answering those tough questions.
Oh, wow. I can see how that would be helpful.
And then you get personalized advice on how to improve.
It's like having a personal interview coach right there on your computer.
It takes all the guesswork out of interview prep.
You can practice with confidence, knowing you're putting your best foot forward.
And beyond those tools, don't forget, RoleCatcher is just a treasure trove of resources.
Oh, yeah. They've got everything.
Career guides, skill assessments.
Even a massive database of employers.
It's your one-stop shop for career success.
This has been such a fantastic deep dive, seriously.
I've enjoyed it.
We've explored the ins and outs of being an Armed Forces training and education officer.
Tackled those tough interview questions.
And even learned how to leverage AI to boost our application.
It's all about being prepared.
Absolutely. So use the insights we've shared, explore RoleCatcher's tools.
And practice, practice, practice.
The more prepared you are, the more confident you'll feel.
And that confidence will shine through during your interview.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Okay, I'm listening.
Beyond landing the job, think about the kind of legacy you want to leave on those future military leaders.
That's a great point. It's about the bigger picture.
What values do you want to instill?
What skills do you want to impart?
What impact do you hope to have on their lives?
Because at the end of the day, this role is about so much more than just training.
It's about shaping the future of the armed forces.
It's an incredible responsibility.
And an incredible opportunity.
Well said.
And with that, we'll wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
It's been great having you. Best of luck to all our listeners out there.
Go get 'em.
Until next time, happy prepping.
Yeah.